Welcome to the channel everyone. Now today I have a Scum 0.95 and beyond news and updates video for you all. So let's jump straight in and catch up on the last few weeks, shall we? So first up first, we have programmers. Our code wizards have been hard at work on a variety of things ranging from very technical, such as researching rendering performance and optimizing post-processing, to the very specific like headlamp, armband and turrets. As for the upcoming features, work has also progressed on the new NPCs, and significant strides have been made with the implementation of the quest system and its corresponding user interface. The encounter system is also being further tweaked, with the greater focus played on the base building encounters. Last but certainly not least, it goes without saying that bug fixing also made up a significant portion of last week's workload. The level design team is doing their part regarding quest system, as they are setting up quest books and quest boards on levels. Apart from that, work has also continued on several POIs such as the castle, quarry and prison interior, as well as new distant nods for the Tudman Bridge and the weapons factory. Riverbanks are still being polished, new base building walls concepts were explored, and much bug fixing and even optimization through asset cleanup was conducted. So quite a lot going on with these first two sets of teams at the moment. Now it has been similar over the past few weeks, so I'm not going to dive into the last sort of 2 weeks worth of news, but we are going to go across some very important things and take a look into those, because quite a lot has actually come across over on X, Twitter, whatever you'd like to call it, and I think it's worth showcasing it all to you. So we're going to run through this pretty quickly and then get on to the more important bits. Right then, animation team has been working on the foliage and tree canopies, as well as creating new pushing animations for the bikes and the quad. Work has progressed on the new trailer and the end credits, bugs were squashed and preparations are being made for the Halloween update. The rest of the art team has been hard at work on the new malfunction UI assets, the RPK AKM rework and the texture polish for the improvised rifle. Turrets have undergone texturing and new lights for the sports bike and tractor have been developed. Also, the Tech 1 quest items that we mentioned last week, well, take a look at them yourself at the end of this section. Soft Surface art team continued their work on the new female inmate clothing items and textures for the armband. They've also made significant progress with the garbage ghillie suit and the masks and materials for the school bag. Additionally, we saw some high poly screenshots for some interesting tribal looking characters and their weapons. As promised, have a look at the rough models for the Tech 1 jammer and relay items. That will be a part of the new quest system. And it is lovely to see. Now we're going to jump in and have a look at that new foliage as well, because that's been released as a little teaser and it does look a lot better. So let's jump straight in, have a look at that quickly. So foliage retexturing is looking very nice there, and I can't wait for that to come out with 1.0. So there was a few other things mentioned there which we will go through momentarily once we get through the rest of the dev update. Now let's move on to the sound team. As with last week, the sound team's work has continued on sound designs for the turret and the quests. So they did have quite a large task of, going through old sounds, redoing them, and it seems like they've continued on now with the new items and new features that we should see maybe before 1.0, if not with 1.0. Now, QA team has been testing new features and ensuring that cheaters are not running amok on the game's servers. And as I say each week, if you do have any bugs, anything like that, obviously you can go over to Steam General Discussions and Bug Reporting, report them there, or you can either use their official website, which you can also access from in-game by hitting your escape key and hitting report illegal content. Now let's move on to the design team. Our game designers have been setting up the functionalities for the headlamp and the new push functionalities for the dirt bike, RAS and the cruiser, which was a nice little thing when I read this, because I absolutely hate the fact that I can't push these at the moment, and they should be a lot easier to push than a car. So it'd be nice once we finally get this functionality in game. Now there is one question that I've pulled from the dev update, and it was turrets. What is this game changing to? Red Alert 3, spaceships, mechs, and now turrets. Another 5 years and this game will be called Halo Space Wars. And obviously the reply from the dev. First off, shout out to the great franchises that you've mentioned. As for the turrets, dropships, sentries, etc., they are all closely tied to the dystopian near future theme of the game. There's a literal implant in the base of your character's skull that can reanimate dead prisoners. The turrets themselves are added as an additional means to protecting your base from the dropship and other players when you are away from it. And as I've said before, obviously there is quite a lot of lore to Scum. Now, if you don't own the supporter packs, then you may not have even known about the lore or seen it. With the supporter packs, they introduced a comic book, movie script, as well as a lot of lore, and goes into detail about where they actually wanted this game to go, which is why I always say I don't get people's anger, hate towards the game when devs are bringing stuff in that, you know, closely tie with that theme. So I would encourage anyone that hasn't obviously seen any of the lore to go and search a little bit about it. I am trying to get them out as well myself, but I've just got my hands tied with so much at the moment, and I've been ill for the past 3 weeks, so I've not done anything, as you may have noticed, with the channel being so quiet. But I'm finally back. So let's get the rest of this done now, shall we? And have a little look at the rest of those things that were mentioned earlier on. So as mentioned earlier, the hunters, or wild hunters, have finally taken some form in the 3D modeling department, as you can see here on the left hand side. Now these have been teased for years now, and it's finally nice to see these coming in to fruition. We also had, as mentioned, backpacks. School backpacks are being reworked, as you can see here, and on top of this we are going to get a new ghillie suit with the trash ghillie suit. And this is a really interesting idea here. Now I'm not sure how well this is going to blend in with some surroundings, but obviously those urban environments, it will probably help you out massively. Now we did have some news on the Hordes. We promised you guys we would give you some more news about the Hordes as soon as we could, and on that promise we deliver. As you are reading this, we have started testing new changes to the Horde system to adjust it properly according to your guys' feedback and the issues we've seen ourselves over time. But not only us, as we want the community involvement in this as well. With our soft launch of dropships, we have some pretty good feedback, allowing us to adjust and tweak the feature for full release. So we are adjusting this approach to the Horde changes, and all of our alpha testers have access to the Horde changes, and all of them will be adjusted according to their feedback. The changes include both how and when the Hordes get triggered, and the puppet spawn proximity depending on the area. We do not want to share numbers at this point, as the numbers are not what's important here. What is important is that it feels good, and that is the feedback we want, to have it feel right. And on this, we have our community and alpha testers to rely on. For now, let's have them check it out and break everything and adjust further as needed. And thank you all for your patience. You'll hear from us soon. So, a little bit of news and, well, an update on what's going on with the fix to the puppets and Hordes. Alright. Now, it has been specified that they will not be reverting it back to how it used to be. But it is nice to see that they are fully testing this and changing things before it even gets to public use. So we'll have to wait and see a little bit longer where this goes, but hopefully this is a good sign for the future of the puppet side of things with Scum. Right then, so we're going to finish the video off going into this week's behind the scenes video, and then a little video of the cruiser in action, which hopefully we'll see very soon. Let's get straight into them, shall we?
Hey everybody, we're back with another episode of Behind the Scenes. Today I have the pleasure of talking to the lead 3D artist. Hello there.
Hi there.
Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're working on right now?
My name is Igor, I'm lead 3D artist. We're working on a new feature, basically, base building element, turret.
The base building turret, alright. And can you tell us what is the process of a feature actually becoming a feature? Can you talk us through it?
Sure, I can. Basically, we start with game design document, which we turn into model blockout. That model blockout is used with programming department so they can start implementing the feature. From that point on, we iterate design per gameplay needs and in-house feedback, of course.
All right, that sounds great. And can you show us what you're working on?
Sure, let's go to Frano.
Okay, switching over to Frano. Hey, you must be Frano.
Mario, yes, I'm Frano. 3D modeler at Gamepires.
And how long have you been at Gamepires?
3.5 years. So
3.5 years.
Mid-developer, yes.
All right. And can you show us what you're working on?
Yes, of course I can.
All right.
So I'm working on the turret, and I'll show you the drawing from Branko.
Yeah.
Just a moment.
Like the concept art, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Oh yeah.
So we start with something like this. I make low poly, send it over to the animators, they rig it. I add more details, that's a different file. There you go. So this is the more detailed version of that. And this was a previous iteration, but we scrapped it in some design changes and with lore. So I think that's why we went with this one instead. After this, I go texturing. Oops, wrong file. I make this. It's not finished yet, so add more details. That should be it.
Yeah. So the next phase is actually basically adding more details, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Making sure it looks nicer, more variation in the texture in the surface, making it up.
That sounds great, Fernando. Thank you very much.
No, no, thank you.
No, thank you. I insist. No. And we're back with Dave, who you might remember from our last batch of videos where he was working on the car radio. This time he's working on the functionality of the base building turret. Hi Dave.
Hello.
And what can you tell us about your part of the process?
So, in the next major update, you'll be able to build 5 different base building turret types that will help you defend your base from all kinds of threats on the island, including when you're online and offline. That includes sentries, dropships, puppets, other players, vehicles with other players in them, and so on.
All right.
So you'll be able to build a basic turret, that's the cheapest turret, and the least accurate and actually, the worst of them all. Next one is 50 cal turret that packs a lot more punch, is a lot more accurate, has greater range, but also the ammunition is a lot more expensive. Third type is minigun turret that has a spinning minigun that shoots the fastest. Fourth third type is very useful. It's a flamethrower.
Oh yeah, that's great for like base defense from other players, right?
Yes.
All right.
And the last one is rocket turret that will help you defend your base against dropships and sentries.
That sounds great. Okay, Dave, and can you give us a little demonstration on the turret and how it works?
So in order to use them, you need a power source such as an electricity generator and compatible ammo. This is a 50 cal turret, so it can only take 50 cal bullets. Also, static mesh is a work in progress, so this is just a placeholder while the guys are working on it.
That's fine.
So let's place a target in front of the turret.
Oh man, that's one shot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the 50 cal packs a punch, as it should.
Yeah. So the next turret type is rocket turret. That's one right there. It's the most accurate turret and it's intended for air defense and all defense against sentries.
And you're dead.
And I'm dead, yeah. And the last turret type is flamethrower turret that you'll probably use to defend your hallways and entrances to your base. So let's see it. And I'm dead.
Sizzling. I like it. That all looks very cool, but what's the catch?
Well, all of these turrets have some limitations. Some turrets can only turn to a specific angle, so that they can only cover one part of your base. Their ammo is quite limited, and also, well, you need to supply that ammo, so upkeep is quite expensive. Turrets don't sweep the perimeter, they just lock onto one angle and cover that. So in order to cover most of your base, you'll need to think carefully where you'll put the turrets.
And
also
have like different types of turrets. Yeah,
yes.
That's necessary. All right.
And also you'll be able to place a limited number of them per base. So yeah, placement is very important.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Thank you, Dave.
And there you have it. A lot of information about the base turrets that are coming into Scum, as well as seeing that lovely, lovely cruiser that does sound very nice as well. So that is pretty much going to be it. I hope we're all caught up over the last 3 weeks now. Sorry again about the massive, massive gap in the channel and having no content. But yes, I was very ill. So thank you very much for your patience. Just want to give a quick shout out to our channel members. Thank you for your extra support. It's always appreciated. Now, if you want to join them, you can do. Head to the channel, hit that join button and see what perk suits you best. But if you want to support me in another way, you can do simply by liking, subscribing and hitting that notification bell. And that way you'll stay up to date with all the latest Scum news, armor content and even that random stuff I like to get up to. Until next time, see ya.